could you elaborate a little bit on the types of attacks that your system could stop and detect? So you talked about Mirai, but I didn't see the obvious way that deep packet inspection over DNS could have stopped or helped in the case of a DDoS amplification attack.
Yeah. So in our use case, we only mitigated against we assume that we have a well-known data set of blacklists, so you can filter that. But for later extension, basically we can use the domain name system, deep packet inspection, and the P4 switch to address attacks such as domain name system water torture, where basically a certain authoritative name server is targeted by. This is kind of a denial of service attack, but specific to an authoritative name system. So if we do that, if we deeply parse the packet in the data plane, and we can basically infer which authoritative name service server is being targeted in our approach, which basically is it's different from traditional denial of service attack, which work on basically like counting the network traffic. In addition, we also can infer which server is being affected. This is like one use case.
Right. But that's a different use case than Mirai, right? So I was wondering if you could elaborate on the Mirai example, since you mentioned it in your paper, in your presentation. So how do you deal with hundreds of thousands of devices that are all bouncing DNS traffic off of servers and bringing it to you?
Yeah. And our approach, we only mentioned Mirai, but we didn't basically do a test evaluation against this kind of attack. Because we didn't have like exactly the domain name systems that they were targeting. So we only focused on the domain name systems that were well known.
Okay.
I had a quick question. I didn't follow completely the part. It's sort of like a technical part related to looping the packets back into the P4 program to parse different labels. Can you elaborate on that? You had a slide where you showed that you would not complete the entire parsing of the DNS packet and you would need to loop it back. I didn't follow that part.
Yeah. So essentially in the P4 code, we can parse unlimited number of labels, and we can't also do a lot of match action tables. So what we did is we parse 4 labels in every recirculation, and then at the end of the pipeline, in order to accommodate for the additional labels that are still might exist in the domain, we remove the already parsed labels and we recirculate again while storing hashes of the already parsed ones, and we do this recirculation repeatedly until there's no label to be parsed again.
But when you let the packet through, what do you do? Like you make a copy of the packet and then you process it and then...
No. So there's we don't make a copy of the packet. The same packet is basically modified to remove the already parsed labels, and then the recirculation is that how it works is that you assign this packet into a certain port, and this port will loop back the packet to the ingress pipeline. So it will go from the egress to the ingress of the same packet.
Yeah, well, maybe we can take it offline. Well, I didn't understand. If you manipulate the packet, but then the packet doesn't match your signature, say, you have to let it go. I mean, basically pass it through, but then it will be a modified packet unless you store what you modified earlier.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be modified in terms of the labels that are already parsed, because we want to remove them in order to parse additional ones. But other like all the information related to that we want to store are gonna be already in the DNS packet. The already labeled parsed labels that we parse, we store them, we hash them, and we store them in the recirculated packet. So that's why we're keeping a track of what we have parsed so far.
Okay, I see. Okay, thank you.